In this video we will be visiting adekoCAM's new part and door interfaces, which come as a standard with every installation. Let me create a new empty project card and have a look at how we can access these interfaces. We have two methods. Either click on the right side of this button and select the interface of interest, or for faster access, right click on the project card and select through the context menu. I will use the context menu for now. Part interface is composed of the Edgeband entry field on the left hand side and the Cutlist on the right. Dimensions of the parts, quantity, part code and module name, material, Edgeband summary, and a checkbox to tell whether the grain of the material is to be maintained during nesting. I can add new lines via this plus button and fill the required fields the same way. For those who find mouse a slow input device, a fast and furious input method via keyboard is also available. Use tabs to move from one field to another. Once the line ends, a new line is created. Let me input a few more parts and complete the cut list. With the part interface, a cut list with parts having edge bands can be created and saved into a file for future import and use. We do this by Ctrl+S shortcut. When I add a new line via plus button, it actually copies the line currently selected instead of creating arbitrary content. In this action, edge bands, however, are not copied. This way, duplicating an already existing line is easier and saves quite some typing while inputting longer cut lists. Let's enter the edge band information for each line in the list. Here there is no specific order. I personally prefer to enter first the lines and then add the edgeband information later. However, one can enter edgeband information after every new line too. This is up to the user preferences. I'd like the top edgeband to have a thickness of 0.4 mm. As I enter, this value is saved for each new line and will be automatically copied to other edgeband fields upon mouse click or tab navigation. In case the edge bands of a single line in the list have the same value, this makes it way easier to enter edgeband information, so only the first value is to be entered once every line, again saving quite some typing. Once the list is complete, I can send the parts to the project card, but before, let me save the cut list to a file, as my colleagues in the workshop might need it. I hit Ctrl+S for the purpose and point where to save. Let's add the parts to the project. All the materials and parts appeared on the project card now. Normally, one would now start running the materials towards right, but before that, I'd like to utilize this time the door interface of adekoCAM to create a few doors with fancy models into the project card first. In order to have access to the door interface, I choose so via the tool button here and click on it. Door interface shows all the models within my library on the left and a cut list on the right, similar to the part interface. I currently have 70 models in my library, and this number might easily be different in your installation. As new models are added, this list grows accordingly. You can navigate through the door library by mouse and see each of them. You can check this checkbox here to get a larger view with more details. Similar to the part interface, plus button at the end of the list creates new lines by copying the selected one, and of course you can leave the mouse for faster input and use tab key to move through the fields. Model names can be entered via two methods. Either select the line on the right and click on a model icon on the left, or by manually entering model names in each line. As you enter model names, the text appears red until the name matches a model in the library, upon which it turns green. I personally prefer adding as many lines as I want and then use arrow keys to navigate downward and clicking on model icons consecutively. Once the list is complete, I can add the doors into the project card of which the name is written here, but before, as usual, I'd like to first save the files for my colleagues in the workshop who might in some cases request separate cut lists, especially while putting all the pieces of a specific product together. By the way, if one wants to remove a line from the list, this minus at the end of each line can be utilized. The list is now complete, and I'm adding these to the project card by clicking on this green button here. The card has now both parts to be sized and also doors to be produced. I can further add other pieces or import ADeko projects or DXF files into the same project card, but let's leave it here. Now I can run the materials following adekoCAM's usual flow, which is covered in another tutorial. I don't want to repeat it, but I'd like to show that the Edgebands as well as part code module name information is available on the label of each part quickly. This information was entered while I was creating the cut lists in both part and door interfaces. As you can see, each part has edgeband information on. Edgebands of the parts inputted via part and door interfaces have different dash patterns for each of the edgeband. This makes it easy to read edgeband information in case parts are rotated on the label. In this video, we saw how to easily create and add arbitrary parts as well as doors from adekoCAM's model library into already existing projects via part and door interfaces. Thanks for your attention.